Hello class, let's start with our grade 10 civics chapter 2 federalism. Okay, so what is the meaning of federalism? You can see the definition given over here. It is a system of government in which power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. That means all the power is not in one hand. It's a system of government in which the power is divided between the central and the states. So here, for example, USA and UK, they have a different type of government. In India, we have central government and state government. So here in this chapter, we are going to learn about the powers, the union list, concurrent list, state list, and all the parts which is there in the hands of the governments. Two levels of governments. One is for the entire country, that is the central government. And next is at the level of provinces or states, that means state government. So both the central government and state government, they enjoy power independent of the other. Nobody is answerable or dependent on each. They are having their own powers. The state government has power of its own and not answerable to the center. For example, they are given as USA. Unitary government, it's only one level of government and subunit subordinates are there. And here the central government, they can pass orders to the local government, that is there in unitary government, and the example is UK. Now here you can see the features of federalism. For example, first one, it has two or more levels of government and each level has its own power or jurisdiction. Constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of both levels of government. Courts interprets the constitution and parts of different levels of government. Supreme Court is the umpire if disputes arise with different levels of government. That means the features of federalism are as follows are, it has two or more levels of government. Okay. And each level, it's having its own power and its own jurisdiction. Right. So here, the constitutional provisions can be changed. Whatever the constitution laws and all are there, the provisions can be changed, but only with the consent of both levels of government. That means, as it is told, state government may be not answerable to central or central is not answerable to state. But if there has to be any changes made in the constitutional provisions, then both the governments, both central and state government, have to give their consent. Then only any type of constitutional provisions change can be made. And if there is any type of dispute which arise between these different levels of government, court, the Supreme Court will give the decision. Who is correct or who is wrong or what should be the decision taken. Like that, the Supreme Court will be seeing towards the dispute. And the court is having the power to interpret the constitution and the different levels of government. The court is having the power. Now, what are the objectives? Here we have seen the features. Now, objectives of federalism is to safeguard and promote the unity of the country, as we have learned in the lesson power sharing. Right? In that, how the power sharing is an important concept in our country, because if one person is having whole and sole power, then there can be chances of exploitation or can be chance of supremacy and monopoly and all. So when it is divided among people, then there is no much concern because they know that there are others also who keep check on them. So to safeguard and promote the unity of the country, we are having federalism. And to accommodate regional diversity. As I said that our country is a secular country, right? So here there are different religion people living, different castes, different language, different ways, different cultures, different traditions. So for all this unity, we need a proper power sharing. So for that, federalism is a good option. And it also accommodate the regional diversity also, region wise, whatever the diversity is there, to accommodate that also, federalism is very good. Now, two crucial aspects of an ideal federalism. What are the two crucial aspects of an ideal federalism? First is, governments at different levels should agree to some rules of power sharing. Trust and agreement to live together must be there. That means the government, the central government, the state government, or the unitary government, or the local governments, whichever level of government is there, they should agree to some rules and regulations of the power sharing. It should not like that we are central, so we will never listen to the other governments, or we are state, we are not answerable. That type of mentality should not be there in the governments. And there should be trust and agreement between them. Because trust is considered as very important thing. If we don't have trust on somebody, then how can we move together? So if they are running a country's people, they are totally looking towards the government. What steps they are taking, if any crucial situation is there, how they are going to solve it. So if there is dispute between the government itself, then there will be no proper constitutional rules, or nothing will happen in that country. So trust and agreement should also be there between the different levels of government, then only they can move together. So these are the two crucial aspects of an ideal federalism. Now here, two parts they have made differences between coming together and holding together. So what is the difference between these two, coming together and holding together? Coming together means when independent states in a country, when independent states are there and they come together on their own to form a bigger unit. Independent states in a country coming together to form one bigger unit is known as coming together. And holding together means a large country. Okay, it decides to divide the power between constitutional units and center. Then that is known as a holding together. That means a country which decides to divide the power between the central and the state. That is known as holding together. Now again back to coming together. Increase security by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity. And in holding together, center is more powerful in relation to, in relation to the states. All constituent states have equal power. In coming together, all constituent states have equal power, and in holding together, constituent units of federation have unequal powers. Coming together, example is USA, Switzerland and Australia. Holding together, India, Spain and Belgium. So these are the two different types of federalism what they have taken. One is coming together and one is holding together. Now, what has made India a federal country? Constitution has declared India as a union of states. That is what our constitution has declared, that India is a union of states. And we have main three-tier federalism. What are they? Union, state and panchayat. These are the three-tier federalism in our country. And we also have threefold distribution of legislative powers. As we know that we are having executive, legislative and judiciary. Right? So we have threefold distribution of legislative powers. This legislative, they are the people who make the law. Executive, they are going to execute the law. Judiciary, if any dispute or anything, any rights towards the citizens or whatever the decision is taken by the judiciary. So in those legislative power, we are having threefold distribution. What are they? Union list, state list and concurrent list. And any changes in power sharing, that has to be passed by 2/3 majority in the parliament. Any dispute regarding the division of power, the court will take the decision. Whatever changes they have to make in power sharing, it has to be passed by 2/3 majority. That means majority wins. Okay. In the parliament where the majority wins, that type of changes will be done in the power sharing. And any dispute regarding the division of power, the court will take the decision. Now, these are the three lists as we have said here. The threefold distribution of legislative power. The three lists are union list, state list, and concurrent list. Now, what comes under union list? Has subjects of national importance. Union list has the subject which is coming under national importance, and union alone can make laws. Here in union list, only the union can make the laws. And what are the subjects of national importance and what all things are taken into consideration on the union list is defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs, and communication. These are the national important subjects, and these important subjects will be taken under the consideration of union list, and they can make the rules, regulations, and laws in this or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 subjects, the national important subjects. Now next is state list. Has subjects of local and state importance. Union list was of national importance. State list is of local and state importance. State government alone can make the laws. Now here as it is state list, only state government is having the authority to make any laws, rules or regulations. Now what are the subjects which is taken into consideration under state list? Police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. In union list it was defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication. Here it is police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. Now concurrent list. Here they have subjects of common interest. That is both to center and state. In union list it was only of national importance. State list it was only for state importance. Concurrent list is common interest for both center and state. And here not only center is going to take laws, not only state is going to make the laws. Here both the center and state can frame the laws. Both are having the equal responsibility and authority. And the subjects which are taken into consideration are education, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption and succession. These are the subjects which are taken into consideration under the concurrent list. So defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication, state list or concurrent list will not have any type of word, or they can't make any laws here. It will be only taken by the central, that is the union list. State list, police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation will be totally under the state government. Union, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption and succession, this can be the laws can be framed by both union and state. They both are having equal authority and responsibility towards the concurrent list. So these are the threefold distribution of legislative power which is there in our country, which has made our country a federal country. The question itself asks that what has made India a federal country? This three-tier federalism, threefold distribution of legislative powers, the power in the hands of the court which can decide any dispute which happens within the government, and how the majority people, whatever they in the parliament changes in power sharing, it will be passed according to the 2/3 majority in the parliament. So these are some of the points which are making our India a federal country. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.